Welcome to the workshop. I'm Dax of Dax's Wasteland Workshop. If this is your first time here, I make scale model cars, sci-fi, hover cars, and I put a lot of lights on my cars. This is my channel update number 4. Thank you for joining me. I'm often asked how I make the flames for my cars. I thought I could go over a couple of options in this episode. There's my dog. I've been doing a lot of experimenting and come up with 2 different versions of flames. I thought I'd show them off and maybe it would pique a little interest. It was made from a Honda. It was a 1965 Honda Formula 1, a 1/20th scale Tamiya. I turned it into a rocket ship. Check it out. All that detail in there. Using a combination of the parts that came with the kit. There are some engine parts in there, along with some Gundam pieces and styrene tube. I use a lot of styrene. So let's check that out on the desk. There's a button in there to turn it on and show you that it's all self-contained. And it's kind of a rat's nest in there, but there's a button. And there you go. Now these little 3-volt LEDs are pretty bright. Tiny little pico LEDs in the front. These are 3mm LEDs, all in the turbines. All right, let's turn the light off here. And then you can take it off the stand. Self-contained unit. I was going for a more clean burning. I could have gone with a red flame. That would have looked cool, but kind of wanted a contrast. There's a little bit of red on the ship, and the contrast with the blue I thought would be nice. This type of flame is a styrene tube or hollow. I place the LED inside the tube, and the LED light itself, I diffuse it so that it projects the most light, and it lights the end of the tube up. And as you can see, the light goes about 1 inch and then it quickly fades off. I sprayed this with a transparent blue to give the color. That engine in there, that turbine assembly, and putting all these things in here was so much fun. I enjoyed that. Fun project, really fun project. I've recently started using these cell phone battery boosters to power the LED lights when I take these cars to any of the Kansas City model competitions. These battery boosters will power at least 30 LEDs for 3 days straight. I tested it on this car. This car has 28 LEDs, and I got 3.5 to 4 days constant power out of one of these. So if you're ever in the need for a power source, use one of these. Connect, and you get power. And this model stayed at the Kansas City Model Show for a full weekend, full power. I'm going to turn the lights off so you can get a good idea what they look like. Turn the power off. There we go. This 5.0 uses 5-volt LEDs. They're 5 to 12-volt LEDs. This police car uses styrene tube, unlike the hover taxi and more like the Honda. This is the old style flames I used to do, where I take the styrene tube and spray paint it with a gradient from red to yellow. In this case, I used just yellow and orange, as I wanted the flames to appear very hot. There are 5-volt, 5mm LEDs in the cloud. So there's 16 total on the bottom, because there's 2 at each wheel well, for a total of 8. And then there's 8 under the car, a total of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 LEDs. You can see the difference between the taxi's a little brighter. It's a cyborg driver. It's RoboCop. It's RoboCop 2092 in his 5.0 with his machine guns on the hood. I need to start making more cars with weapons. That's some badassery right there. Could you even imagine that pulls up behind you? Pull over! Soon, I hope to do a video on just this car in a spotlight for the Origin series. I'm releasing one a week. Be out in a few months. I'm releasing them in chronological order, with a few exceptions. Another option for powering these is to go with an AC transformer, and you can buy those for about $15. These are 5 to 12 volt LEDs, and the transformers on the same current, same voltage, and you can leave this one plugged in 24/7, and looks great. I'll be doing a video for this in the Origin series as well. And subscribe so you can see it. I love this car. I absolutely love this car. This Miata was the first guinea pig to use the acrylic rod as the flame over the styrene tube. This is where I decided I think I was going to use them from now on. Acrylic rod. It gives a nice, decent glow. Look, it's not bad. Tiny little Pico headlights. This uses a minimum of lights. It only uses 6 LEDs. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Don't forget the taillights. Check out those taillights. That was a chore. And unfortunately, as you can see, it didn't turn out as well as I had hoped. Really worked on those for a long time, and I failed on it. As you can see, there's cracks showing. And that was sort of one of the reasons I never really finished this one. That and the fact that I did a terrible job at sealing this cockpit area off. You can see the line here and here. So I never really finished this guy. Unfortunately, maybe someday I can redo it. Because those would have been awesome if they turned out correct. I finished the hover taxi and could not be happier with it. I tried some new things on it, worked out better than expected. The lights turned out fantastic. Brilliant in color. They show a lot of a sense of heat and a sense of motion with the debris flying through the air. I tried a couple new things on this one. You always got to experiment, always got to try new things. I've tried acrylic rod for the flames. They're different from they give a different look than the styrene tube that I normally use. But they almost provide like a glow, like you would see in a flame, like a transparency, I guess you would say. That's what it is. They have a transparency to them. especially these two in the rear. They're a little covered, but they look like they are hot. And you just don't get that effect with the styrene. They may not be as bright. They're bright at the tip, but I think they look better. I prefer the acrylic rod. From the side, you can see the flames are really bright on this. Now, of course, I do have the lights down quite low to amplify the light. In bright daylight, of course, they're not as bright. Showing the debris flying. You've got the 5mm cool white LED has a really high light output. It's what I found. It's the best one to shine the light through these acrylic rods, and the acrylic rods are diffused. They've sanded them so they put out a little more light. And I'm really happy with the ones in the back. They look like a hot flame. Okay, so I was gonna show off a couple of different types of lighting. I was gonna show off a few different ways to diffuse an LED light and make it look as if it's a flame. So I've got my 9-volt battery. This is a 5 to 12 volt LED. This is a cool white. They make a warm white. It just doesn't have the same intensity. You can see it has a little bit of a blue to it. So the first type of flames I tried were the styrene tube. It's a white styrene tube, and you can see it gives a little bit of glow, about an inch down. And if you want to add color, you can spray a transparent color over it. And the reason to not go with a red bulb or an orange bulb or a yellow bulb is they're just not as bright. They don't quite light these up enough to give it that intensity. So that's with a transparent red to orange to yellow. So let's look at the acrylic rod in the dark. And I've made a little adapter that will hold the LED tight, block some of the light from coming out the side, and you can see most of it is projected through the end. Now look how far down that goes with the light from the LED. Say if there's about an inch where the other ones went to, you've almost got 2 inches of light. I mean, if it's really dark, it travels that whole length. I also like how it's transparent right at the end, because I didn't paint it and I also didn't sand it. You've got that little gap there, and you can see on the jets when they have the thrust behind, there's a little line or a little break, and then you see the flame sometimes. So that was a cool look. In the first of my workshop update videos, which was weeks ago, I had mentioned that I wanted to make a counterpart to the spider. I got a mechanical spider in my hand. I had mentioned I might turn it into a grasshopper type. It's something with wings, and it's got to have jumpy type legs. So I want to figure something out. I ordered some styrene tube, and it should be here tomorrow, and I can start to build on this. So the plan is it's gonna be a tough one. I don't know what I'm getting myself into here. I've already been looking at this model, and I'm trying to decide what has to be removed and what has to be made to turn this into a scale and size with my spider. It's a monster. It's a beast, just in time for Halloween. I wanted it. Well, here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make, basically, this is the face, the head. It's jumping, as if you can imagine, a grasshopper, a locust. I don't think a dragonfly really jumps. So you can imagine a grasshopper jumping, taking off, legs fully extended, rockets out the back right here, two thrusters with LED lights inside and flames. So he's jumping and thrust, taking off with the 4 front legs extended like this, headlights, parking lights, and wings that come out of this section backwards. So he's jumping and thrust coming out. That's the plan. I thought, I don't put many weapons on my cars. I really don't. I've got the machine guns on the 5.0 Mustang. I've got that's not counting my wasteland vehicles, because those are full of machine guns and whatever. I'm talking about my hover cars. I don't tend to put weapons on, and because I look at them more like we're just going for speed. That's all they're for. But with these insects, I put the weapons on the spider. Maybe I put weapons on this and turn it. I want missiles firing off it. I think that would look so cool to have missiles firing with the LED smoke trail behind it, like they've just fired. That would look so cool, but I've got to figure a way to jumping, thrusting, firing missiles at the same time. You could have a pod of missile launchers on it. It doesn't have to be exactly like an insect. It could fly like an insect and have, missile pods on the side of it. I don't know. I mean, I might be getting myself into too much here, but that's what I got in here. It may come out totally different. If you followed me on Instagram, you'd know that my builds often start out as one thing and completely change by the time it's finished. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's my cat moving the camera. Can you stop? Please. Thank you, sir. He did the old 180, came right back.